In the quiet hum of a digital age, where every pocket holds a portal, there lived a young man named Omar. His world, like so many others, was a symphony of notifications, a constant stream of information vying for his attention. He navigated the modern labyrinth with practiced ease, his fingers dancing across touchscreens, his eyes ever drawn to the luminous glow of his phone. It was an extension of himself, an indispensable companion in the vast interconnected tapestry of existence. But one evening, amidst the familiar pings and alerts, something new emerged. Something different. A notification unlike any he had seen before. It simply read, "Life View, System Notification." Omar, a pragmatic soul, accustomed to the occasional software quirk, dismissed it as a minor glitch, perhaps an errant advertisement, or a system update waiting to be installed. He tucked his phone away, the unassuming rectangle of glass and metal holding no apparent malice. He drifted into sleep, the day's trivialities fading into the background, unaware that the innocuous notification was merely the first whisper of an encroaching nightmare. The digital world he so readily embraced was about to turn on him, revealing a darkness he could never have conceived. Then, at the precise, unyielding hour of 3:15 a.m., his phone vibrated, a jarring tremor in the otherwise silent room. Omar, startled from a shallow sleep, fumbled for the device, his eyes squinting against the sudden glow. The screen, now starkly illuminated, displayed a new alert. The words, chillingly precise, burned into his retina. "Your final moment has been scheduled. View preview?" His heart pounded, a primal drumbeat against his ribs. Disbelief warred with a creeping dread. A prank, surely. A malicious piece of malware, a sophisticated, cruel joke designed to terrorize. He considered ignoring it, deleting it, but a morbid curiosity, an irresistible pull into the abyss of the unknown, compelled him. With a trembling finger, he tapped. The screen flickered, then resolved into a video clip. Blurry, distorted. He saw himself, or at least a vague, indistinct figure that could only be him, in an unfamiliar setting. The image pulsed with a grainy, unsettling quality, like an old forgotten tape unearthed from a hidden vault. He strained to make sense of the fragmented visuals, but it was too unclear. Only one terrifying truth pierced through the haze. The video depicted his own death. A cold, alien hand seemed to reach from the screen, clutching at his very soul. He recoiled, the phone dropping from his grasp onto the carpeted floor, its screen still displaying the horrifying, indistinct tableau. He spent the rest of the night in a cold sweat, sleep an impossible luxury. He rationalized, he analyzed, he tried to convince himself it was a hallucination, a product of an overactive imagination fueled by late-night paranoia. But the memory of the image, blurry as it was, remained vivid, a scar on his psyche. The following day was a blur of forced normalcy, every shadow seeming to hold a hidden threat, every passing stranger a potential harbinger of doom. He tried to forget, to push it to the furthest corners of his mind, but the digital specter lingered. That night, the notification returned, exactly as before. "Your final moment has been scheduled. View preview?" His breath hitched. He braced himself, a grim resignation settling over him. He tapped the screen, his gaze fixed, unwavering. This time, the video was clearer, sharper. The details began to emerge from the digital fog. He saw shadows behind his own figure in the clip, elongated, distorted, shifting with an unnatural grace. A door, previously indistinguishable, now stood out, its dark wood scarred and ancient. And then, the unmistakable, horrifying truth. Something was moving toward him in the video. Not just a vague shape, but a distinct, creeping presence, its form still obscured by the digital distortion, yet undeniably there, closing the distance. Fear, raw and visceral, clawed at his throat. This was no prank. This was no malware. This was a window into an unfolding horror. He deleted the app, or what he thought was the app, with furious urgency. He reset his phone to factory settings, wiping every trace of his digital life clean, hoping to erase the encroaching dread. But it was useless. The notification, like a malevolent echo, persisted. It materialized on every device he touched, a digital plague. His tablet, his laptop, even the public screens in cafes seemed to flicker with the same ominous alert as he walked past them. The chilling realization dawned: this was not confined to a single device, it was attached to him. Every day, the clip updated. The insidious video became longer, each frame adding a new, horrifying detail. The shadows solidified, gaining definition, their forms subtly hinting at something inhuman. The environment became clearer, a desolate, abandoned room with peeling wallpaper and dust motes dancing in the dim light. The movement toward him intensified, the distance closing with terrifying speed. And with each update, the date and time displayed in the notification grew closer, an inexorable countdown to his final moment. The feeling of being watched, of being hunted, became suffocating. He tried everything. He smashed his phone, shattering the screen into a spiderweb of despair, only for the notification to reappear on the pristine display of a brand new device, purchased in a desperate, futile attempt to escape. He sought help, confiding in friends, but his wild, disjointed tale of a prophetic death video was met with skeptical glances and concerned suggestions of stress and delusion. He was alone in this digital nightmare, a solitary target in the crosshairs of an unseen, unfathomable entity. Then, the true horror of it all crystallized in his mind. The video was not merely predicting his death, it was not merely showing him a glimpse of a predetermined future. No, it was recording it in real time, from the perspective of something that was getting closer to him. Each pixel, each frame, was a live feed from the eyes of his pursuer, documenting its steady, relentless approach. The clarity of the video, the increasing detail, the shrinking time frame, all were direct consequences of this horrifying, inescapable truth. It was a digital predator, stalking him through the very devices that defined his modern life. The realization was a scream trapped in his chest. He was being hunted, and his own phone, his own connection to the world, was broadcasting the hunt, frame by agonizing frame. He started seeing the world through the lens of the video, imagining the angles, the shadows, the slow, deliberate movements of whatever unseen force was closing in. Paranoia became his constant companion. Every creak of the floorboards, every whisper of the wind, every distorted reflection in a darkened window sent shivers down his spine. His home, once a sanctuary, became a cage, its walls thinning, its security dissolving under the weight of an unseen gaze. He barricaded doors, drew curtains, extinguished lights, seeking solace in darkness, hoping to elude the digital eye. But there was no escape. The notification always found him, always updated, always showed the next dreadful step in his inevitable journey toward the final moment. The once blurry video was now crystal clear, a horrifyingly vivid chronicle of his impending doom. He could see the texture of the old door, the dust on the floorboards, the subtle shifts in the shadows. He could almost feel the cold presence that moved just beyond the frame. The final twist arrived with a silent, chilling finality. The notification, appearing one last time, glowed with an absolute, terrifying certainty. The words resonated with the weight of an eternity. "Your final moment is now." Omar stared at the screen, his breath frozen in his lungs, his heart a frantic hummingbird. The world seemed to hold its breath. Then, without a sound, the screen went black. Utter, absolute darkness. His reflection, once visible, was swallowed whole. And then, with a click, a live camera opened. Not the camera he usually saw, the front-facing lens for selfies, or the rear camera for capturing memories. No, this was a feed from behind him, a horrifying, unfiltered, real-time perspective. The camera, unblinking, showed his own back, his shoulders hunched, his head bowed in terror. And standing, just inches away, an entity, its form now revealed in chilling detail, its presence overwhelming. The digital portal had opened, and the hunter had arrived. The final notification wasn't a warning, it was a greeting. And the screen showed the last thing he would ever see from the perspective of the very thing that had come to claim him.